Yes, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Alan, this is my life in Taiwan, and can we all just take a moment to appreciate the return of the main star of this channel? Yes, the desk is back. I've pulled it out of storage, dusted it off, and I'm ready to present today's video for you. A video which may stray somewhat from my more positive MO, as I usually like to present the more positive, lighter side of a life here in Taiwan. But in today's video, we'll be taking a little look at the darker underbelly of life in Taiwan, as I will be discussing the crime levels here in Taiwan, and perhaps more importantly, how those crime levels affect me as a foreigner and other foreigners that choose to come and live here in Taiwan. But first, did you know that I recently opened a new channel called Life in Taiwan Clips and Shorts? That's where I upload new videos every day, showcasing some of the more interesting, more important, and some of the funniest clips from previous Life in Taiwan videos in a more digestible 1 to 2 minute format. Perfect for when you really need that Ingguo Susu fix, but you only have a couple of minutes to spare. I've put a link down below to the new channel. Go subscribe, check it out, watch some of the videos, and by all means, let me know if you have a suggestion of a Life in Taiwan clip that you'd like me to upload, and I'll add it to the list. So let's get back onto topic and start talking crime. And why now? Why, after 4 years of making positive videos about this country, do I suddenly raise this quite negative topic and talk about how much crime there is in Taiwan? Well, some of you may have noticed that my relationship status has changed recently, and I've been spending rather a large amount of time with my beautiful new assistant. That's at least how I'm referring to her for the moment, but being in a relationship with a Taiwanese person has really opened up my eyes to a new side of Taiwan that I've not really been exposed to before. One of those sides to Taiwan that I'm being exposed to is watching the Taiwanese news on a daily basis. Yes, for 13 years here, living in my little English bubble, I very seldom watch the Taiwanese news. Yes, I'd read the English newspapers or watch the international news that was talking about Taiwan, but I very rarely sat down and watched the Taiwanese news to find out what was actually going on in the country in which I lived. Therefore, my new assistant insists that we sit down together every day and watch the news for 30 minutes or so whilst eating breakfast. And I have to say, I'm absolutely loving it. Or, well, loving most of it. But I'm not loving it because I enjoy seeing bad things, of course. I love it because it gives me a feeling of connecting to the country in which I live, allows me to understand more of the goings on in Taiwan, and not just see the overly whitewashed or propaganda international news that the rest of the world gets to see about Taiwan. And as a result of my new exposure to the local Taiwanese news, I'm also getting a little glimpse into the criminal underworld of what goes on here in Taiwan, and I have to say, it has certainly opened my eyes. So let's get straight into it and start talking about numbers. And with about 60,000 people currently in prison here in Taiwan, that means 258 people per 100,000 of the population are currently incarcerated, which compared to the 639 per 100k of the USA may seem like an incredibly low number, but it actually puts Taiwan in a kind of mid to high ranking 43rd place in the world in terms of incarceration rates, in and around the same place as countries such as South Africa, Georgia, and the Dominican Republic. And just for comparison's sake, my country of the UK ranks at an angelic 116th place with just 130 people per 100,000 of the population currently in prison. But anyway, yes, and the reason that I mention this is just to demonstrate that yes, of course, Taiwan does have crime and criminals, and currently there are about 1,140 crimes per year per 100,000 citizens. Again, just for comparison, this number is about 2,500 in the USA, and from what I can gather from reading online, an alarmingly high 9,000 plus for my home country of the UK. As usual, please take these numbers with somewhat of a pinch of salt, as every number changes according to which source I get it from and according to how they record the crimes and how they're reported. My point here is just to show that crime does take place here in Taiwan. It's not a completely crime-free country, but it would appear that crimes do happen at somewhat of a lower incidence rate than that of some other Western countries. Perhaps a more interesting question to be asked would be what kind of crimes actually take place in Taiwan more often than others. Because of the culture, the geography, the difference in people, it would appear to me that some crimes are definitely more common than others, and that's perhaps why so many foreigners here think that the place is completely crime-free. Street robberies, burglaries, and violent crime happen at much lower incidence rates than they do of our home countries back in the West. Although we do occasionally see street robberies or indeed bank robberies here in Taiwan, I think there was a bank robbery here just a few weeks ago, but bank robbers are caught here at an alarmingly high rate, and that's just because the country is so small that the entire country almost is covered with CCTV. All the police have to do is follow the CCTV from street to street, location to location, and follow the criminal to where they're hiding out. So what are the most common kinds of crimes here in Taiwan? Well, I have to say it, gangsters and criminal gangs that want to extort or find different illegitimate methods of getting money out of people are usually the most common kind of criminal here in Taiwan. And as their main focus is trying to get their hands on as much money as possible, they tend to steer clear of foreigners, maybe because we just aren't worthy enough to them, or perhaps they think they don't want the bother of having to speak English in order to get their filthy little paws on their ill-gotten gains. And I guess I should be a little bit careful about what I say here, because I certainly don't want any of them coming after me, and I'm actually pretty sure that I've come across several of these guys in different social situations here in Taiwan, and I have to say I generally find them to be quite polite, courteous guys. Always dressed in black from head to toe, of course, but other than the occasional glimpse of one of their tattoos or a small rumor going around the bar, you wouldn't guess that their true occupation involved money laundering, extortion, gambling rackets, sex trafficking, and other such criminal enterprises. One of the news stories I was watching during my breakfast news session with my assistant absolutely shocked me, as it showed a shootout in broad daylight between police and one of these gangster leaders, who ended up taking the asphalt temperature challenge as police shot and killed him in broad daylight in Kaohsiung City. Really scary stuff that fortunately we as foreigners certainly don't get to witness too often. But as well as the gangsters, Taiwan is also quite well known for its telephone scammers. Whether using Line or WeChat or some other service, the scammers will message or call a victim and trick them into giving away their details in order to steal usually a few thousand NT from them. Not the biggest crime in the world, but these numbers certainly do add up, and the criminals often get away with it. So other than the gangsters who tend to keep themselves to themselves, the telephone scammers, and probably a lot of other white-collar criminals that we'd never come across, I guess another aspect of crime I should talk about here in Taiwan is mental health. Because over the years of being here, I have read some horrific stories about crimes committed seemingly at random by people who just appeared to snap. There was a man in Taipei who killed a toddler in the street as her mum watched on back in 2016, the subway killer who murdered 4 people on the MRT in 2014, and numerous other stabbings or violent crimes that apparently just came out of nowhere. And I have to say, it's my personal theory that the culture of Taiwan just isn't very well suited to looking after people like this with such serious mental health issues. And this leads to these terrible atrocities being carried out by people who are in some way sick in their mind or have been affected by some life trauma for which they didn't get the right help. I am 100% not vindicating their actions. They are terrible people for doing what they did, but I think if Taiwan was a little bit more open about their mental health, rather than covering it up in fear of shame, then some of these crimes might have been able to be prevented. But I'm not giving psychological help at all, just my personal theory. So with this being said, murders and violent crimes here in Taiwan occur at much lower rates than they do in some other countries around the world. In fact, the intentional homicide rate has fallen by half in the past 10 years, from 935 cases in 2009 to 378 in 2019. And the intentional homicide rate per 100,000 inhabitants is just 0.82, putting us at 37th place in the world rankings, compared to the USA in 137th place with 4.96 cases per 100,000 residents, and the UK in 55th place with a score of 1.2. And again, just to put a bit of personal opinion into the video, as I like to do on occasion, I feel that most of the murders or violent crimes here outside of the gangster world tend to be what I would refer to as crimes of passion, where a jilted or heartbroken partner or ex-partner that ordinarily wouldn't consider committing a crime of any kind has been pushed past their mental breaking point and committed this crime, hurt their partner or killed somebody, their lover, in a heat of the moment incident. Again, that's just speculation on my behalf because I can't seem to find any statistics or evidence that back up these crimes of passion theory that I have, but it's definitely what I've noticed from reading newspapers and watching news on TV here in Taiwan, and especially because keeping your face is such an important part of the culture here in Taiwan that I really feel there are people that will go to these extremely violent, extreme measures to keep their face here in Taiwan. So what does all this mean from a foreigner's perspective? Well, if you're coming to Taiwan from one of the more common Western countries that people choose to come here from, then it means that you're probably much less likely to be a victim of crime here in Taiwan than you would have been if you'd stayed back in your home country. Unless, of course, you manage to get yourself involved in the drugs trade, as some silly foreigners have managed to do, then you're probably not even going to notice any crime going on around you here in Taiwan. As I've said in many videos before, it really is as safe as people make it out to be. Your biggest danger in Taiwan is undoubtedly the traffic, on which I'm going to do a full video and investigation into soon.
What the fuck?
But yes, the traffic situation certainly isn't as positive as most of the other things I talk about on this channel. And if you want to make sure you don't miss that video, then make sure you hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, hit the like button, tell YouTube that you want to see more of my videos, and I'll be forever grateful, as it really helps me out and also gives me the mental support to keep making these videos in future. If you have anything to say about today's content, then please use the comment section down below, or alternatively, you can follow me on Instagram and message me there. You would be surprised to know exactly how many people I get into conversations with over in my Instagram DMs, so please go check me out. Other than that, not much else to say really, other than to say thank you so much for watching, but as for now, and as always, I'll see you next time in My Life in Taiwan. Peace! Bye bye! Bye bye! 好，done.